Hello YouTube, Plato here, and today we're going to be covering how to farm drop pods in Eye of the Storm to get you maxed out on resources and be ready for Worldslayer. This is by far the easiest method to get you rich really quick and to become your own Jeff Bezos of Enoch. You'll be able to do this solo, duos, trios, and hard level 1 carries. Video on this one coming soon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. To begin our Eye of the Storm journey, I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys a little secret that you may not be aware of, and that is called spawn manipulation. Now, you saw that I went ahead and shot that Mauler on purpose. Why? Well, that is because of spawn manipulation, and here's how it works in each Spire of Eye of the Storm. So Eye of the Storm is going to be a map containing 3 spires. Spire 1, which we're currently in, Spire 2, which is in front of us, and then Spire 3 to our right. How the spawn manipulation method works is that we keep one enemy alive from each spire so that nothing else can spawn other than the initial wave of monsters and the elite that comes on each spire. And those elites are Broodmother for Spire 1, Crawlers for Spire 2, and the Behemoth for Spire 3. However, let's go ahead and get started with Spire 1 because it's a little bit unique in that there's actually 2 methods you can use to spawn manipulate. Method 1 is the freeze frame of me bugging the Mauler, and to bug the Mauler is simple. When you see the Mauler drop down, just go ahead and take out any long range weapon and just shoot it once. If you're successful, you can actually see the Mauler kind of just like glitch its way and just get stuck behind a rock. Now, if you're unfortunate and the Mauler doesn't get bugged and it's just running straight at you, that's okay. The second method of spawn manipulating, if the Mauler doesn't pan out for you, is going to just be keeping a Strix alive. And you can do that simply by freezing the Strix. And the best method of doing that, in my opinion, is if you have a spare Wicker, just put it on your secondary and just have ultimate Ashen bullets and ultimate freezing bullets. But if you're using some other gun on your secondary, you can also use something like T3 freezing bullets and like T2 Ashen bullets on a pistol or something. Or maybe just T3 freezing bullets on your pistol. You don't really have to be too picky. The goal is you just have to keep the Strix alive, and the best way to do that without it trying to consistently nuke you with its poison is just keeping it frozen. Now, while I was going on a rant about the Strix, you could see that the Broodmother had spawned, which is going to be the elite that spawns in the first Spire's wave, right? So once we've taken care of the Broodmother, now you don't have to do it as cleanly as I did it in this video. This was a speedrun attempt, so I had to make sure it didn't get in the Spire. But since we're focusing more on a more casual aspect, it's okay if you let the Broodmother get into the Spire. It's also okay to step out of the Spire to kill the Broodmother as well. Just be mindful that you need to keep that Strix frozen if you didn't bug the Mauler. It'll be much easier to take care of the Broodmother if you bug the Mauler. However, if you fail to do so and you have a Strix frozen, be mindful that it doesn't get into the Spire, because if that happens, you're going to have to kill the Strix. At worst case, it's just going to spawn another wave of monsters, and you can go ahead and apply the same method of keeping a Strix alive for that second wave as well, or any other waves that follow if you happen to mess up. And this will apply to all Spires, not just the first one. Moving forward to our second Spire, we're going to be using the same method of spawn manipulation as we did for our first Spire, minus the Mauler. Because we can't bug the Mauler for the second Spire, we're just going to have to focus on keeping one Strix alive. Now, the only thing that's going to annoy you with the second Spire, more so for close range characters, is going to be the Crawlers. And the biggest advice I have for close range characters, because longer range characters are going to be able to just blast the Crawler and then just go ahead and resume freezing the Strixes, but for close range characters is to take advantage of the pillar and stand behind it out of line of sight of the Crawlers. When you do this, it's going to either do one of 2 things. It's either going to make it so you can just stand behind there and just keep on perma-freezing the Strixes and the Crawlers will ignore you, or 2, the Crawlers will lose sense of all what's happening and just kind of just circle jerk and start spamming overcharges and ice beams and slowly make their way to you. Now, if this happens, feel free to just take care of the Crawlers to your discretion. And keep in mind that if you do mess up and the Strix gets in the Spire again and you're forced to kill it, it's only going to go ahead and spawn that secondary wave. So feel free to do with that secondary wave just like you did with the first wave, kill everything and just keep one Strix alive and then proceed the Spire as normal. Heading to our last Spire, Spire number 3, this one's going to be only a little bit different in the sense that when we get to the Spire, there is going to be no Strixes that spawn on this wave. It's only going to be Alpha Porphyros, and then your Behemoth. So the trick on this Spire is to keep one Alpha Porphyro frozen, just like we did with the Strixes. This is going to be the easiest Spire to contain, as keeping that Alpha Profero frozen is going to be no challenge at all, and the only thing we have to worry about getting into the Spire is one additional Alpha Profero, some regular Proferos, and then the Behemoth, which will just run at you, so no problem killing him right away. And that's how we're going to be tackling the hardest difficulty content in this game, with spawn manipulation on Spire 1, 2, and 3, so that we can farm those 75,000 drop pod resources, the ability to choose 1 out of 3 legendaries, and the number of rolls that we get rewarded at CT15 from the drop pod is going to be the highest on Eye of the Storm as well. So if you want to go ahead and take advantage of the spawn manipulation method in duos, trios, and hard carries as well, it's going to make it the easiest Eye of the Storm you've done in your entire life. Duos will be as fast as under 5 minutes. Trios as fast as under 3 minutes, and hard carries as fast as under 5 minutes. Stay tuned though, as I will be releasing a build guide on how you can also complete Eye of the Storm with 2 level 1 hard carries in under 5 minutes. Now before I go ahead and show you guys a trio run on how to use everything you've learned together and use it in that group scenario for a fast as heck Eye of the Storm run, I first want to go over how Spires operate, and this applies to any map. And it's super simple. The more people you have on a Spire, the faster the Spire will complete. Now, you can go ahead and apply this to every other map, even Eye of the Storm. However, the caveat for Eye of the Storm is that the only time I recommend having 3 people, or as many people as you have in one Spire, is if you're learning the map or if you're hard carrying. However, if you familiarize yourself with the spawn manipulation method and you've learned it to a T, you can apply it to duos, right? Have one person on Spire 1 and Spire 2 and manipulate both of those spawns. Then when you want to take it a step further to trios, have a person on Spire 1, 2, and 3 and manipulate all of those spawns, which you're going to go ahead and see an example done in a trio scenario right now. As always, guys, thank you so much for enjoying my content. Hope you liked the video. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and until the next one, peace.